Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Greg Sloop, and it's time for Live at 5 on this Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. We are in the midst of VBS Vacation Bible School this week, the Jungle Adventure. Had a great kickoff night last night, had tons of kids around the church here, and a great attendance and a great spirit all around the building. We're excited about that. We do have it every night this week here in Kannapolis at Kannapolis Church of God. 5 p.m. No, excuse me, 5:15 starts the mealtime down at Harvest House, and then the actual VBS starts up top at 6 o'clock. Um, you are with us today, and we are looking at uh, Genesis chapter 31. Genesis chapter 31. We were in the middle part of the chapter yesterday, last time we did Live at 5, and it was where Laban chased down Jacob with his wives, who were Laban's daughters, and Laban asked him, "Why did you run away? What's the deal?" And at the end, here's how Jacob kind of summed it up. He said, "I served you 14 years for your two daughters, 6 years for your flock. You've changed my wages." The literal translation is 10 times, but it's supposedly a euphemism for time after time. And here's how he left it at the end of it: "Unless the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed." Because he did try to sneak things around, and Laban tried to almost cheat him out of some things, but God always helped him and helped him not to be taken advantage of. He said, "God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last night," because Laban wanted to come after him hard, and God said, "Don't say anything good or bad when you see Jacob." So we come to the next part of the story. Verse 43 begins it, where Laban and Jacob make a covenant. Now, they're not making a covenant to cooperate or to work together anymore or anything like that, but the covenant is a slightly different kind of covenant. As a matter of fact, the translation could easily be uh, translated as treaty as well. Verse 43 of Genesis chapter 31 starts, "Laban answered and said to Jacob, 'These daughters are my daughters. These children are my children. And this flock is my flock. And all that you see is mine.'" He's trying to say to Jacob, everything you have came from me. "But what can I do this day to these my daughters or to their children whom they have borne? Now, therefore, come, let us make a covenant." And as I said, that could also be translated treaty, you and I, "and let it be a witness between you and me." So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. Then Jacob said to his brethren, "Gather stones." And they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there on the heap of stones. Laban called it Yegar Sahadutha, which is translated heap of witness, but Jacob called it Galid, which also meant heap of witness. Yegar Sahadutha was in Aramaic, and Galid was in Hebrew. And Laban said, "This heap is a witness between you and me this day." Therefore its name was called Galid. Also, Mizpah. Now, here's where this famous word that people like to use sometimes. I knew of a fraternity one time that used the word Mizpah as their greeting to show that they were part of the fraternity. Uh, Also, Mizpah, because he said, "May the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent from one another." The word Mizpah literally means watch. "May the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent from one another." Laban goes on to say in verse 50, "If you afflict my daughters, or if you take other wives besides my daughters, although no man is with us, God is witness between you and me." Rather ominous tone to it, but nevertheless, he's trying to let him know, "I'm going to trust you to take care of my daughters, to take care of my grandchildren," which he called his children, "and to do no harm to them and not to mistreat them because you found another wife." I think that's a reasonable request, even though it was put in an ominous manner. Verse 51 continues, "And Laban said to Jacob, 'Here is this heap, and here is this pillar, which I have placed between you and me.'" This was kind of on the border between Laban's land and the land that would be Jacob's. He said, "This heap is a witness that I will not pass beyond this heap to you, and you will not pass beyond this heap and this pillar to me for harm." Didn't say you couldn't come visit, but he said definitely we will not pass this pillar in each other's direction for harm ever. The God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, and the God of their father judge between us. And Jacob swore by, and this is a translation, the fear of his father Isaac. Now, the word fear is a reference to God. We fear God, so they called him the fear of his father Isaac. That meant the God of his father Isaac, but he had the name fear. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain and called his brethren to eat bread. And they ate bread and stayed all night on the mountain. And early in the morning, Laban arose, kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned to his place. This is a great story because just before that, there was kind of this accusatory moment. There was a little bit of tension there. Why did you run off with my daughters and not let me kiss them goodbye? Why did you take my children? Even though they were really Jacob's children, they were his grandchildren, they were his progeny, if you will. Why are you running off and taking them without allowing me a chance to say goodbye? And that doesn't make sense. It's a little offensive, but I'm not against you. So they made a covenant, they made a treaty not to harm one another and for Jacob to take care of Laban's progeny. Um, this is how it should end up. When there are disagreements, when there are hard feelings, you talk them out, you make a treaty, you worship the Lord, and then you let it go. And that's a great pattern, I think, for how we could solve things today with people we feel harsh with as well. So, great story. That's the word for today. Don't keep grudges, don't hold grudges, but instead talk them out, work them out, pray, seek the face of God, worship together, eat together, and then let it go. It's the best way to do it. Absolutely, positively. Thank you for being with us. I see Richard Britt, Sharon Noblet. I know there are others that are on here with us every day that their names don't pop up for whatever reason. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. It is our honor to present this word to you, and it is our privilege to do so. And I hope it's a blessing to you as well. Spend some time with God every day in the Word of God and prayer. It will help you learn how to deal with people, especially those you may have some hard feelings toward. It'll be the best thing you do all day long. Spend time with God. Absolutely. Please know we love you and we're praying for you. And I look forward to seeing each of you again.